Ara is the venue for this midwinter competition. You're here in 1998, the pre-Olympic downhill competition. Last chance to qualify for some of these ladies. And on screen you have Bibiana Perez battling it out for a place on the Italian team. World Cup points up for grabs, but the 98 Winter Olympic Games are on everybody's mind at this point in the winter season. Perez on this very tough downhill course. The speeds are not as high as they have been in past years, but the terrain with this flat light causing all sorts of trouble throughout the training runs for the girls. Perez looks good at this split time. Current leader, Dalloz of France, is now being pushed behind by about a third of a second as Perez tucks and tries to keep the body low. So difficult to maintain contact with the snow. Skis rattling and chattering all over the place. Dallow's time, 1:05.75, is beaten quite soundly, a fifth of a second. And Perez of Italy, the native of Vipiteno, posts 1:05. Goes into the lead, and now she has to watch and wait as Katrin Borghi of Switzerland takes to the piste. Borghi, a real downhill specialist, and definitely in touch at the top split. 300ths, that's nothing in ski racing terms. Ooh, a little offline, and the body gets twisted as she tries to compensate, pressing that right hand down to desperately try to keep the pressure on the outside ski. Borghi struggling, and it's reflected in the time. Large, well, fairly large deficit now for her to work on a long flight again, indicating the skiers are having difficulty spotting the crests of the jumps. Overhead cloud and light snowfall conspiring to increase the difficulty here on this Are competition hill. Perez's time now on the left. Borghi stops the clock, but it's not enough to overturn the Italians' lead. Switzerland drop back to fifth, but there you can see she'll score a combined time that's added to yesterday's slalom, which posts her in first position at the moment. Miriam Vogt now with a strong top section for the German team. They of course have a number of very quick skiers still to come, including Martina Ertel and Hilda Gerg, but Vogt now finding the way through this very tricky midsection. Strong to reverse on the right ski. What's the next split give her? Well, a little bit of time is gone, but this is still very respectable. Nice press and a long flight, but it was compact. The body staying not quite in the tuck position, but almost. So good aerodynamics in what are very difficult conditions. Another strong press, but this time the body stretches and catches a lot of air. Now, will it be Germany? Will it be Italy? Vogt goes for the line, and Italy stay top for now. Vogt, sixth best in that downhill run, combined with yesterday's slalom time, gives her second for the combi. Canada now. Kate Pace. We'll see an attacking run from her. This is a real punchy skier. This is good. 1700ths to her advantage on the top split. Oh, and very clean turns here from the Canadian. Opening the body up to make certain, and a high line on the exit from the traverse. Now she can afford to let things go a little. She's cleared the technical section. Needs to let them run. That high line's cost her, but let's see if it gains momentum. The skier can pick up time. Sometimes the clock can be deceptive. Can spend a little time getting the line correct, and now tucking in very tightly, trying to glide, trying to flow with the hill. That was a long flight. Kate Pace really going for the line here. Perez stays safe for now, but it's a question of how long. In my book, 1:06.19. It's not good enough to overturn the Italians' lead. It's seventh place for Canada. Now the first of the big Austrian names in our presentation, Renata Goetschel, an incredibly experienced skier and a top tip for these forthcoming Olympics, showing us she's right on form here. 600ths the advantage to Austria on the top section. Aggressive into these turns, keeping the upper body low, but making sure the legs are doing the work. Big angles being created by the lower limbs. Götzsche really flying through here, and a very strong split. 1100ths now her advantage. Long flight, but again the arms were low and in front of the body. That breaks the air around the skier's frame and creates a better aerodynamic position. Oh, that's not so tidy, however. Götzsche very twisted in the air. The right arm punching forward to maintain the momentum. The left arm twisting behind and out of control, but it's fast for Götzsche and fast enough to take the lead away from Bibiana Perez of Italy. Götzsche well on form here, and who would bet against her for a medal at the coming games? Heidi Zurbriggen. Switzerland now on course, and another fast top section. It's only 100th of a second, and despite some wobbly moments from Götzsche, that lower part of the course was very, very strong. Zurbriggen comes to the next split. Can she maintain that slim advantage? Well, there's the answer. It's gone. Still not very much in it. Less than 1/10 of a second. Remarkable how small the margins are. Zurbriggen gets compressed, maintains control though, and it's all because she's attacking. Look how low she's got the thighs. The arms punching forward, and that's a clean flight from Zurbriggen. Couple of small errors sneaking in. The body a little too low perhaps, but this is attacking skiing from the Swiss. 104, 105.30. A close run thing, but Zurbriggen can't get ahead of the Austrian Götzsche. She stays on top for now. Picabo Street of Team USA. Oh, neck and neck with Götzsche. Picabo's been having a very strong season, and maybe just a real indication of her reaching. Oh, ski's gone. Street goes down, a real heavy crash and into the nets on one of the steepest sections of the course. That really is equipment failure. The left ski wasn't fully loaded and the binding released, but Picabo Street will be cursing her equipment supplier, hopefully once she's up and okay out of these nets. The skis left her feet very, very rapidly, so really hopefully she'll be okay, and the nets at the bottom of the pitch caught her and prevented any further damage. Austria next on this demanding piece. We've seen one very hard crash already. Let's hope it's the last piece of major drama for today. Let's keep the excitement focused tightly on the results page. Schuster very low in the tuck. This top section is not very fast, therefore the skiers must get down out of the wind. Now the turns start to wind the skiers back across the hill, starting to get slick underneath. The soft snow fell last night, but it's not given much protection, so as you can hear, the race piste here in Ara very, very hard. And Schuster also having problems. A fast split from her, but she was pushed wide out to her right at the bottom of the pitch and had to come a long, long way back to regain the racing line. The next time check will confirm whether or not our observations are correct. But now Schuster digging deep and staying very low. She's not put off by those mistakes, really gunning for the lines. Götzsche 105.09, and Schuster can't answer those mistakes. Very costly indeed. 0.49 of a second, the punishment for running so wide. Germany again. Very strong women's program from the German team. Really have, over the years, had a great number of very talented female skiers. Katrin Götensson amongst them, and showing that talent on the top section. 300's her advantage. Now different approach down here, opening the body up. You can see the legs being pummeled by these bumps. A real physical task. It's not the longest downhill on the tour. Organisers have dropped the start position because of the bad conditions higher up on the mountain. So more of a sprint today, but it's still very, very demanding in physical terms. Low position, that's good work from Götensson. Trying as hard as she can. Down this lower section, however, the legs starting to straighten up, fatigue starting to show. Looking for a rest all the way across the line, and 105.87 is Guttensen's time. That posts her in 8th position for now, and Goetschel still hangs on to the lead. France's top hope in this competition, Florence Masnada. A real strong Super G skier, 700s. This is a good showing from Masnada on the top. These turns, however, I believe will be more to her liking. As I've said, she's a real Super G specialist and very clean on the edge of the pitch. Standing tall, that may catch a bit of air, but the turns are clean, and if she lets the skis run from now, we may see that advantage grow. But like a couple of skiers before her, she's got work to do. She has 2200s in the bag, but she ran awfully far out to her right on the exit from the final steep pitch. A sense of urgency now creeping into Masnada's skiing as the sticks are snapped under the body very, very quickly indeed. Now, tucking, going for the line. Only a couple of meters left to go, and she'll know if she's done enough. Goetschel leads for how long? Well, she hangs on to it. Masnada goes into second by 900ths of a second. Next up for the French team, Régine Cavenu. Strong all-rounder. Cavenu tending now to focus more on the speed disciplines. That's a little disappointing from her on the top. Skis digging very deeply into the snow, running a little too wide. The race line is possibly only half a meter wide at this point, and the soft snow that's been brushed off by the course workers and is also still falling from the sky really taking a lot of speed away from the racers who run wide in the turns. Oh, a heavy landing from Cavenu. That'll have added another couple of hundredths to the deficit. Down low again. Each and every one of these girls know that from here to the line, they really have to stay bullet tight in that tuck position. Cavenu now going for the line. The shoulders are still a little high. She should be a bit tighter in the position. 1:05.60, the best she can manage, and that puts her in 6th position for now. That surely is a little disappointing for Cavenu. This women's downhill competition from Åre, Sweden has thrown up a few surprises already. Some of the big names crashing out. Remember, this is the last warm-up for the 1998 Nagano Olympics. Just a couple of weeks from now, these women will be battling it out on the slopes of Japan for Olympic glory. France on course again. Their favourite, Régine Cavenu, failed to deliver the goods. Best skier for them so far is Florence Masnada, who sits in 2nd position. Can Montelet join the party on those top podium steps? 35.66 the final split for Montier, and it shows the French woman trailing by 1600ths of a second. Now, does she have the power? Does she have the aerodynamics down here? Very low. This is good skiing from Montier. Chasing down her compatriot Masnada, and of course race leader at this point, Renata Goetschel. 1:05.09 the target time. France gunning for the line. 1:05.75. It's getting so close amongst those top positions, but that's only good enough for a 7th position for Caro Montelet. And another skier unable to hide her disappointment. Kostner for Italy on course. So the Kostner out of Ortisai, rode up to the Brenner Pass, native of the Südtirol region. Strong entry to these turns, hanging on very tight. However, it's so difficult to get the blend of allowing the skis to run freely from the turns and at the same time maintain the racing line. It's good here from Kostner, only 1300ths to find, but that was an untidy flight, and I suspect that the momentum really won't be there. Hanging on again very tight through these turns, heavy edge angles, and another untidy flight by Kostner. She really has to do something about those flailing arms. This is better. Staying tight. She goes for the line. The body low. The head hunched forward. 105.47. Again, very, very close. Fourth position for Costner. Surely she's going to be happy with that. Germany on course. Hilde Gerg. They still have Seitzinger and Ertl. The start gate, and Gerg, true to form, going very quick on the straighter top sections. At this point in her career, she's really gaining a strong reputation for being more of a speed specialist. Rachel's next split, 35.50. Gerg, a strong answer to that. 800's the advantage. And clean turns from Hilde Gerg. Doesn't look happy on the jump, and a long, long time spent before she was back into the tuck position. By contrast, Gretschel actually tucked through the whole of that section. So that's where these precious hundreds are won or lost. I think in Gerg's terms, it's time and a position she can ill afford. Here she goes, ducks for the line, stops the clock just outside the target. But importantly for her, combined position #1. She'll take that one. Never mind the third in downhill. The #1 position from the combined was one of the targets she had set herself for this particular competition. Melanie Souchet. A strong French skier. We've got Masnada very well placed at the moment in second. Souchet, much less tidy than her compatriots through this section. Ooh, reaching desperately with the arms to try to maintain the pressure on the skis. Bit too ragged, and you can see there, 1/4 of a second lost. Body position a little too far back on the skis. It's not quite so important on this lower section, but on the jumps it's absolutely crucial. Another very long flight from Souchet. And now all she can do is tuck in and wait. Stay as low as she can. Over the line, and the clock stops at 105.46, placing her in 5th position, the second best skier of the French team. Germany once again. And another lady who, like teammate Gerg, well, hasn't just been developing a reputation as a bit of a speed queen. She practically owns the show this season. She wears the red tour leader bib by virtue of having accumulated more World Cup points than any other woman on the downhill tour. And you can see why. She loves to take those risks. She's bounced very low on the line, but she keeps attacking. The body's twisted, but Seitzinger really diving in deep in that turn. Kept the line, but only just. More importantly, she's kept her advantage. 1800s now. Is it enough to get her over the line in top spot? She needs to keep it clean. Those shoulders are high. She's got to stay low. That was a nice short flight. Back on the snow, good and early, and getting on with the job with using gravity to its best advantage between here and the line. Seitzinger punching for the win, and yes! Takes it away from Austria by a whisker. 1700th, and Seitzinger, a nice consolation there, gets second in the combined ranking from this weekend as well. Well, Germany aren't done yet. Martina Ertl on course. Well, unlike Seitzinger before her, she has work to do. 1600 adrift coming off the top section, on the line a little low. This is where Picabo Street got into all sorts of trouble. Ertl much stronger on the outside ski than Street was, but nonetheless I think it's costing her time. Here comes the next split, and it's 4200s for Ertl to find. Perhaps too much of an ask. The snow falling ever heavier, and it will be having an effect on the race piste. The aggressive new snow crystals will be beginning to slow down the ski basis, and Ertl also adding to the problems by getting that last jump very wrong. Too much direction to the right, a big wobble in the air, and surely another 10th must be added. 8th position it is, and well, She deposes Seitzinger from that second position in the combined rankings, but 8th in downhill. That's a little disappointing, I suspect, for Martina Ertel. Switzerland on course. Sylviane Berthaud coming to the first important split time, 35.32. That time of Seitzinger is very strong. Berthaud cannot answer. A nice turn coming off the final pitch, but Berthaud, I think, with too much to do. Oh, another problem there. The left ski breaking away. Trying to hunt for speed, trying to keep the body low, sometimes forcing herself onto the inside ski. So difficult to find the blend, must keep them carving cleanly. Now running straight for the line, Sylviane Berthaud of Switzerland. Almost a second off the pace. That sees her right back down in 16th position. Happy enough with that, coming from outside the top group of 30. It'll help her rankings in the longer term. Elena Tagliabue for Italy. Living dangerously. It's such a steep, icy wall with a strong, strong left-hand turn to be delivered at the bottom. Tagliabue gets bounced low. It was looking good till then, but that's 2/3 of a second for her to find. Now, let's hope the wax technician has done a good job. The final preparation to those skis in the 15 or so minutes before the start on a new snow day like this is very, very important indeed. I hope they're gliding well. If she's got any chance of catching Seitzinger. A little wobble on the final turn, and Tagliabue, well, out of the top positions. The top 20 for her is respectable at this stage in her career. She'll settle for 19th, I'm sure. In amongst the less experienced skiers here now, outside of the top group of 30, the elite of the world's women's skiers. Number 38, Sibylle Brauner. Moving steadily up through the ranks at this point. And just looking a little out of sorts. Uncomfortable with the speed on this lower section, but if she knew she was less than 1/5 of a second, or about 1/5 of a second, off the pace of teammate Seitzinger, I'm sure she'd be very happy indeed. Oh, that doesn't look good on the jump. The body fully stretched out, carrying an awful lot of speed, but catching an awful lot of wind at the same time. Brauner, a very brave performance from a relative youngster, goes over the line in 20th position, and a strong 12th from her combined efforts. Martina Fortkort of Sweden, one of the few home skiers to be taking part in this speed event. The women's team concentrating more on the technical disciplines here in Sweden, and you can see Fortkort, despite this being home turf, looks just a little shaky, doesn't look comfortable with the difficult visibility conditions. And again, the arms dropping out of the tuck position, not really feeling confident, well enough balanced to be attacking this course 100%. Not much of a flight there, indicating not the greatest of velocity being carried, but good skiing, good for her development to be out here in amongst the speed events. And 107.66 is not disrespectful at all, and a 14th, good to be in the top 15 in the combined standings. Stephanie Wolf, another skier for Germany. They really have such a strong women's program. Wolf looks a little uncertain here. The skis being slammed sideways in a desperate attempt to slow herself down, maintain a little control. A nice turn there on the right ski, but definitely not carrying the speed of the likes of race leader and teammate Katja Seitzinger. Body coming up just a little, just being a bit cautious, spotting the entry to the jumps. Oh dear, this looks a bit scary. The speed quite high on this lower section. No threat to Seitzinger's time here from the youngster Steffi Wolf. 108.07 for her. But another skier we see just slipping into the top 15 in the combined standings. Well, a great day skiing here. The last race of the 98 season before our Winter Olympics. Seitzinger takes it from the Austrian Goetschel, and a strong showing from Florence Masnada of France. Just quarter of a second off the race leader's pace. Beautiful race weekend here, and the standings showing Seitzinger clear in the lead for the downhill World Cup standings. That red Café de Colombia bib of 1998 belongs to her 100%.